Okay, so we're in pretty tight because this is more about the shapes of the chords than what my right hand's doing. So we're going to start with just the basic open cowboy chords in a 2-5-1 in the key of D. 2-5-1 is the standard jazz circle, and it means the second chord of the major key, the fifth chord, and the root. 2 in the key of D would be E minor. 5 would be A major. And 4 would be D major. And you could either do 2 beats of each of those chords and then 4 beats on the D, or a full measure of E minor, a full measure of A, and 2 measures of D. Now, the natural extensions for these chords are E minor 7 by getting your pinky on the 3rd fret of the B string, A7, which is open to open to open, getting the G in there, and then D major 7, which is moving this D to the 2nd fret. So you get open, 2, 2, 2. A lot of times when you play this on the bar chord, we're also using these shapes, which is E 7th fret root, E minor 7, 5th fret root, A7, 5th fret root, D major 7. And that one is 2, 7, 6, 7. Now you can, let's start with E minor 7. Here's a cool shape, which is 2, 4, 3, 3. We can also start to move up the fretboard and treat this as an E minor 9, 5, 4, 3, 2. Now your bass player is going to be helping a lot in these, because you could also think about this as like a G major 7. So we're going to call it E minor 9. This shape I really like, E minor 11, 5, 4, 3, 5. Notice I'm kind of moving up the fretboard with these. Next one, here's another one that is 5, 7, 5, 7. This, I have trouble voicing the 5th fret here a lot of times with this shape. So it's not my favorite, but maybe you can play it a little cleaner than I can. Now I'm on the 7th fret, 7, 7, 7, 8, 7. This is an E minor 11. Then next we have 9, 9, 8, 10. E minor 7. Classic, great shape. Next we have an E minor 11 way up here, 12, 12, 10, 12. And then an E minor 9, which would be 12, 12, 12, 14. And so those are all the shapes moving across, starting way up here, moving down the fretboard. Those are your E minor shapes. Let's take a look at some A shapes. So we already have this A7 shape. Get your pinky on the 2nd fret of the E string, so it's O2, O2, 2, and you have an A13. One of my favorites, O2, 3, 2. And so with the key of A, you always have access to this open A string. The shape here is 2, 3, 2, 3, and you get an A7 flat 9. I really enjoy that shape. I love how dense and dark it is. Next one is similar to our E7, or E minor 7, but when we add the open A string to it, we get an A9 suspended 4. 0, 5, 4, 3, 2. A9 sus 4. Continue. All right, moving down the fretboard, and again, you have the open A if you want it. This is an A9 shape, which is 5, 6, 5, 7. If I remove the ring finger, it's just an A9. It's fun to play between those two different shapes. Next shape's up, and it's 7, 6, 8, 7. This is another A9. Here, 7, 9, 8, 7, we have an A7. Move that pinky up a half fret. A suspended 4, or A7, sus4, A7. That's another cool sound. Keep it moving up here, 11, 12, 11, or 11, 12, 10, 12. We have another A7. And this like comes from the B7 shape, way up the fretboard. And then that same shape that was an E minor 9, you can also use it as an A9 suspended 4 by adding this A to it. D major 7 time. So we got that first shape. O222. You can also add the 5th fret of the A string, 4th fret of the D string, and you have a nice movable shape. 4, 5, 4, 2, 2, 2. D major 7. We have 4, 4, 3, 5. This functions as a D6. D6 is the same as the B minor 7 in terms of notes. So when you think of relative majors and minors, the 6th chord is the same as the minor 7. That's relative. So D6, B minor 7, or for example, C6 and A minor 7. A lot of these are going to depend on your bass player to pull out or establish the root to establish the chord. So don't be surprised when you see a little bit of overlap in these chords, because that happens when you start to extend these chords as much as we are. All right, next, that D major 7 that we've already seen. 5, 7, 6, 7. Classic shape, lovely shape. Up here we also have 7, 7, 7, 9. That's a D major 7 there. $12, 11, 10, 9. This one's a little cramped in this, the way I'm sitting with the microphone and the camera, but that's another D major 7. Think F major 7. That's where that one's coming from. And then we also have 12, 14, 14, 14, 14. And that's this shape, an octave up here. Now those are just major 7s. You can also add major 9s, so, or other 6 chords or 6 over 9. So there are other chords you can play. For example, the D6/9 would be 12, 11, 12. Oops, it would be 12, 11, 12, 12. Very cool chord. I guess I already taught you that one, but that's an example of one that's not a major 7. Next, when it comes time to practicing them, you should try to do something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Practice them like that, because the idea is to use these chords to move vertically across the fretboard. So you can get some very cool 2, 5, 1 ideas once you've mastered all these shapes. This lesson is just to introduce these chord shapes to you. Try them in different keys, but get each one under your fingers. Try to play them clean and smooth, mess around with some changes, and then in 2 weeks, I'm going to show you how to unlock the power of all these shapes. But this is just meant to introduce how to use jazz chord shapes to start to play across the fretboard vertically. Hope you dig it. 10thumbspro.com. Catch you next Monday.